he is a regular at all the clubs in New York. He's got his own special on Amazon. Is that not exciting? I'm actually babbling
Very
so
much
that
so.
the YouTube thing catches up. He has his own special on Amazon, which is called what is your special called again, Jad?
Living large.
Living large. Living large. He has come to us all the way from the North Pole. And please help us welcome our host for today, Mr. John G. John G, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, thanks for having me. Yeah. So I see we had a few audience members. That's great. Keep your mics on and laugh. If you don't want to keep your mic on and laugh, you can always comment in the side and let people know what you're doing. Let you know if people are hearing it. We appreciate you coming out and listening to us. So, yeah, I really am kind of tired of people telling me I look like Santa Claus. I swear to God. But I end up perpetuating it myself sometimes, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So, I did try to join a gym at one point, but yeah, I think next week I'm actually going to shave and maybe change my background at the same time. Yeah. I actually got asked the other day to send a dick pic. And I was like, are you kidding? You want a Santa Claus dick pic? I'm like, no. I'm happy if I take a picture and I find something, but I'm definitely not sending it anywhere. I'm definitely afraid of being the pedophile Santa. Ain't happening, And it's been interesting my entire life looking like, I've been a kind of a heavy guy and I've had a problem getting laid my whole life. But now that I've got the whole Santa Claus thing going on, it's even tougher to get a date. I tried going on Tinder and, all the ones that swipe right, they all want me to bring presents. I don't want to bring presents. I want them to bring me a present, right? And then somebody suggested I do Grindr, and yeah, well, I thought about it for a little while. I really did, but trying to clean this beard out is really tough. So I'm just letting that one go. So yeah. I don't know. I actually did lose some weight recently in this whole Corona thing. I've been cooking for myself, and I suck at cooking. So, I really do miss the days when the elves would bring me some reindeer sausage. But I got to work on a joke with the reindeer sausage. What do you think? Yeah. Mrs. Claus might have liked the reindeer sausage. I don't know. Yeah. You think Santa Claus might have a profession in stand-up, Lori? You think we could do this?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can stop.
Yeah.
Because
You can stop? Oh, man. It's funny. I don't know. People who know me know this, but I broke up with my girlfriend 2 weeks before the pandemic started. So, it's been kind of boring and lonely, and I've been working a lot, just on the computer because you can't go to work. And, the whole dating thing, I mean, even if you really did want to date, I mean, are you going out for a date right now? I mean, what do? You wear a mask, you sit 6 feet apart, you scream 6 sweet nothings 10 feet across the parking lot. I mean, it's not fun. I don't know. I don't envy people who are single at this point in time, like myself. Yeah. I don't really have a whole lot to talk about tonight, do I? I'm kind of mixing this up. But hey, it's Santa Claus, it's the wrong time of year. It's July, it's hot. I got the AC on and it still doesn't even resemble snow. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I'm going to bring up your first comic. Is our first comic ready, Lori? Are we ready? Because you're the first one. All right. So I appreciate you guys all coming out. I appreciate you all listening. But let's give it up for Lori Summer. Yay!
Yay! Hi, everybody. Welcome to Santa's workshop. I feel like if you're at the helm, Santa, and if you sit there and look at your phone while I'm doing comedy, I will find where you are at the North Pole and kick your ass.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
This is how it is. I've been. I don't know if the rest of you feel this way, but I don't know if I'm getting more comfortable with the way things are right now, or if I'm becoming more angry. I think there's like I definitely snap more, mostly at the people that don't like to wear the masks. Those are my favorite people, which there's a lot of them in Long Island. I don't know where you people are, but if you're in Jersey, Long Island is the same exact thing, just different hair gel. Same thing for upstate. Corona. I hope you're okay, James. But that to me is my biggest pet peeve, that it's just, I don't understand it. Just wear a mask. I don't want to hear that you have some kind of ailment or whatever that prevents you from wearing a mask. You're full of shit. Like I'm so enraged. Like, I'm constantly yelling. There was a guy in the store. He was at least wearing his mask, and he was in the aisle, and he was sitting there looking at his phone in the aisle, and he coughed, but didn't cover his cough. Like, he just thought that the mask was going to be, and it happened to be right as I was walking by. And like I really believe about myself that I'm a very nice person with a hint of cunt. And just the hit. And actually, those who know me will say mostly cunt. So which is definitely fine. But I'm masked, so I just figure, like, this is my superhero moment, that I could just say whatever it is that I want to say, and it's like they know me, because I usually do get called the C word as I'm walking around. I don't know if you've gone to the stores recently, but they do seem to be more. It's not the same, I guess, with all the restrictions. I went to Costco today, and they didn't have anyone waiting in line outside. There wasn't the usual from a couple of months ago. And, I was really upset because they're still not doing samples. And I mean, and that's really why you go to Costco. Yes, you go to buy things in bulk, but I like to snack. And I like to snack and not pay for it. And you can't do that, which I understand. They can't really do it right now, but I think they should find a way. People pay to be a member of Costco, and try a puff or whatever else that they're handing out. There's a lot of people that have retired that are working in Costco, I've noticed, which I think is great. Like that, they still have to work. That was their retirement plan. My retirement plan is becoming a stripper. That is my big retirement plan. And you're like, wait, how is that going to happen? It's going to happen because I'm going to move to Atlanta, and I won't even move down there. I would just fly down and I'd stay in New York. But there is a strip club in Atlanta that only hires women over 60. So I'm really excited about it. You don't even have to be in shape, apparently. They prefer a woman that's, a little bumpy and curvy and wavy. So I'm working on it. I've been working really hard this entire quarantine. Santa lost weight. I found it. So he must have dropped it from the sleigh in Long Island, because that's exactly where I found it. I found it in Holbrook, and I would like to give it back to whoever lost it. I went to the city a couple of weeks ago, and it was a little weird being there. The panhandlers were definitely more aggressive and white. So they were and looked like they worked on Wall Street. That's who I had bothering me as I walked down the street. Some white Wall Street fucking idiots. Usually they're just offering me cocaine, and but not this time. I never thought that I would enjoy not seeing people so much, but that's what I've been doing for the quarantine. I've been staying away from everyone, and I've never been happier. You know, like some people are really sad about not being inside the comedy clubs. I'm actually okay. I like that I don't have to look in some people's faces. I could see it here on Zoom, and then I could just leave, which is nothing. No one. All right. Am I being a cunt now? Told you. Maybe you were thinking, oh no, she isn't. Yes, she is. That's really how I am. The one thing I don't like about being out in the suburbs is that we're always in our cars, you know, like I miss that connectivity of being in the city and being on the subways and just being so close to everybody. And I also miss being around people that aren't Trump supporters. That's really what I miss, because that's what I'm stuck being. I'm out here, and they have flags. Like I lived for Obama. I never had a flag of Obama. I did have underwear, but that's different. I did. His face was right on my hoo-ha, but whatever. That is just me. I'm actually wearing them right now. Hoping that it'll be some kind of sign from the universe to like bring some kind of normalcy back to our country. You know, people talk about that too. They're like, oh, you know, like this is our new normal. No, things have never been normal. Like the things that we made normal are not normal. I don't know if you guys feel that same way, but I just like we've never lived in like our normal was the 1% getting richer and all of us begging for extra $600 a week to be continued. Like that is the only. I'm really getting sad today. I'm so sorry. I should be more funny, but I'm not. Sometimes you don't feel it. I don't have I wanted to get a pet for quarantine. That's what I really wanted to do. I wanted a puppy. I wanted something like that. And I take care of my parents. They wouldn't let me get a puppy. So I am now the bird lady. That's what I am. I feed the birds. That's what I do. And I will say that my bird seed brings all the birds to the yard. All of them. Like there is just bird crap everywhere. And I'm really excited about it. Let's see. What else do I want to talk about? I don't know what I want to talk about. I do miss being in the city. I miss being in my neighborhood. But I hear that it's not as safe anymore. Supposedly they found a headless woman in the park. And the police said that they were not ruling out foul play. Which they shouldn't, because something foul may have happened there. Even though we all know, you know, like sometimes in the middle of the night, you just feel like walking by yourself through the woods and your head falls off. Like that's what happens. I do. I miss my neighborhood. I lived in a very Dominican neighborhood. I lived there for 20 something years. I loved it so much. I actually started turning Dominican. I would hang out in front of my building in a lawn chair at 1 a.m, barbecuing, and and I was learning dominoes. I wasn't good at it. But there would be music playing. Everybody was dancing. There would be a plethora of children dancing and running around. And like, I never knew where their parents were. I'm like, ¿Dónde está tu madre? And they'd be like, yo no sé, let's dance. And then that's it. I would just start dancing. I love my neighborhood. I do. I always felt pretty. It didn't matter. I did. It didn't matter. And even when I was all jacked up, I had 2 back surgeries. And for a while I had to wear a brace, and I walked with a walker. And you know, I still felt, I was walking down the street one day, and this young kid came up to me and he was like, don't worry, Ma, you still got it. And I was like, oh, you're going to get it. And that's when I became a cougar. That's when that started. I actually, you know, some people are trying to date during quarantine, and you were talking about going on Grindr, which I totally think you should, John, and I would love for you to videotape it. That's really, you know, like you have your show on Amazon, film that. That's what I want. That's what I want for Christmas, actually.
You want a film of the meetup, huh?
I want, for Christmas, I want all of your Grindr escapades. I don't know. What do you call it? What should I call it? I think that would be fabulous.
Santa Grindr.
Santa Grindr. I don't mind like the I guess people are doing Zoom dating. Is that happening? Is that a thing? People are meeting up and you know,
That's what I hear.
To me, it's like I can't even do the online dating. The online dating isn't a thing for me. You know, I tried doing it. I did the which one did I do? I did the eHarmony. And if you're not familiar with eHarmony, the E stands for evangelical. They don't tell you that. And if you're wondering, evangelical men love to have their profile pictures holding a fish. That's it, like that. That was the beauty of that. But no, I didn't do it. But I know that I'm not worried about it. I know that once we get back out there or whatever, I know I'll meet somebody. I'm not stressed out about it. And I know it mostly because I read The Secret. And if you're not familiar with The Secret is a book, and it is it's about the law of attraction, and it teaches us that we are our thoughts, and that we can manifest our thoughts into existence. So that is what I've been doing for the quarantine. I've been thinking about, it's like a weird science kind of thing, where I'm actually visualizing it, and I'm creating this perfect person for me in my head. And he's great. You guys would love him. He is, one of my favorite things about him is he's lactose intolerant. I don't have to share any cheese. I don't have to share cheese or ice cream. It's perfect. He said the funniest thing the other day. But I'll tell you guys another time. I'm going to send it back over to John. Go on, John. Back to you. Back to you in the studio.
So I got a new video series coming out called Grindr. Santa Grindr. Yay.
Do
Another
it.
Christmas present.
Do it.
Oh man. All right. So we're having a fun time here tonight. Lori did a great job. Keep it going for her. And we're going to bring up your next comedian right away. Let's give it up for James. James DeSalvo. James.
Yay.
You know what? It's bad enough real cops have too much power. Who told the Navy cops on NCIS they had power over the public? Mark Harmon's running along. He yells out, "Freeze, NCIS!" And people stop. Not just sailors, doctors, lawyers, orthodontists, flat out stop. Would you do that in real life? No, I'd stop for freeze, police, FBI, freeze, even IRS, halt. Okay, yeah, NCIS, freeze. Girl Scouts of America, freeze. Even then I'd stop. I might get a cookie. God. And there are 3 of these shows. Is there enough crime in the Navy to warrant 3 series? Every week it's a murder. you'd think they have a more stringent recruiting process. Who's the recruiter? Blackbeard? What the hell, man? Arr, I see you want to be joining the Navy, do you? Well, let me ask you a question then. Do you have malfeasance in your heart? Do you have what it takes to throw a man overboard into shark-infested waters and hear his screams as they become music to your ears? Ah, are you willing to flay a man's flesh from his bones as he begs for mercy? What's your opinion on plundering and pillaging? Ah, you'd be good at this. Well, then sign here and you're in the Navy. Great. Just watch out for Mark Harmon. And John, I saw you were on Tinder. That's great. But do you think people would actually use Tinder if you could leave Yelp-like restaurant reviews? Because I know mine would suck. I just go to check them out there. Oh, let's see. Portions not as large as advertised. What? He wanted seconds, had to wait a lot longer than expected. And I only got a 3-inch rating. And Laura, you were in Times Square. Great. I miss it, except I don't like the friggin' Elmos, the naked cowboys. And although I'm grumpy enough, people leave me alone, but I go there with someone. It's the friggin' hawkers for the nudie bars. We're there with my friend Penny. This guy jumps up. Hey, nudie bar, nudie bar, nudie bar. Come on, take a flyer. We're like, yeah, okay. As we're going past, he yells out, but we have flying midgets. We turn around. Dude, you lead with flying midgets. Then we had questions. I mean, how do they fly? How tiny are they? Are they proportionate? But I'm pretty boring now. I was set up to be boring as a kid. With the toys, my brother remember the $6 Million Man got that Steve Austin action figure with the bionic grip and the bionic eye where you could see like a little thing to see how far he is. I got his boss, Oscar Goldman. Yes, you know what his things were? It came with a plaid sports coat and a briefcase. I was one slide rule away from having a career selling insurance at Mutual of Omaha. And even then as a kid, you know, I was a geek as a kid, not cool like I am now, but, you know, I was Star Trek fan, Star Wars geek. I was a chess champion. Then I hit puberty. I became like the dog in Up. I love you, squirrel. I'd be playing a game, okay? And queen takes rook. Ah, great, knight takes bishop. Boobs. And even now I'm a teacher. Kids are still, you know, they're cooler than I ever was. But I still like to bust some chops. I'm sitting there one day teaching. I have 6 kids piled at the desk, trying to help them with work, with papers. Other kids are doing work. One kid, Richard, sitting there doing his work, but being a pain in the ass. Finally, I just look up and go, you know what, Richard, I'm going to adopt you and put you up for adoption. Without missing a beat, he looks up at me and goes, Mister, if you were my father, I'd put myself up for adoption. Mic drop for him. It was great. Yeah. And then a couple of years ago, my wife and I went with our friends Kevin and Mark to go see Hairspray on Broadway, if you've ever seen it. 2 things to know for this story. Back then, I used to be 325 pounds. And Kevin, yep, is 6'2" and looks just like James Dean and Johnny Depp had a baby. Lori, dry your mouth there. I can see you. Maybe a little towel for your seat, I can tell. But, okay, so we're coming out of the show, and Chris and Mark's like, oh, we gotta go. Let's go get lunch. Let's get lunch. And Kevin's like, we gotta go meet Harvey Fierstein. I'm like, let's go. Okay. So I go waddling over, and here I am with this gorgeous god behind me. And Kevin puts his head in my shoulders, looking, hugging me, looking at me. Harvey walks by. If you've ever seen him like this, oh my God, he's great. Sees me as big as I am with Kevin, stops and goes, oh, is he yours, honey? Oh, he is a keeper. Good for you. And we get back and everyone's like, ha ha, Harvey thinks you're gay. Ha ha ha. No, all I thought was, he thought I could do well. And I'm going to close with a joke that I promised my brother I'd tell because he wrote it for me to say. So, yep. No, it's true. My brother John is HIV positive. Now, he's been HIV positive for over 25 years. He is just like Magic Johnson, but he can't dunk for shit. Thank you very much.
Hey,
Give
give
it
it
back
up.
to John G.
All right, good job, James. Good job.
Thank you.
Great job. Great job. All right. So, that person's okay. So we're just gonna keep this right on going. We're gonna give it up now to Mr. Steve Katz. Steve, it's all you. Yay!
Woo.
Oh joy! How's it going, guys?
How you
Right.
doing?
Excellent. So I've been reading a lot of self-help books lately because, you know, it's mostly because I can't use a bathroom in the public. I don't know what it is. Like, actually, I do know what it is. Like, I don't like being judged. Not because of they're going to judge my size, because like, what can you do about that? Well, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. It's just I worry about I worry that they're going to judge me for the strength of my stream, if you know what I mean. It's like I'm standing there at the urinal with a dollar store squirt gun, and the guy next to me is just power washing the ceiling. So I just can't take that kind of pressure, nor can I actually give it. So I'm just kind of hoping, like, I'm hoping like once the gym's open, like maybe there's some kind of a class like that I can go to learn exercises, like some Kegels or something. But I'd probably just be too embarrassed to go to those as well. So I don't know. So do you think? Well, I know I do. I kind of think like there's got to be the opposite end of the spectrum. Like guys who have too much confidence. Is there an anti-self-help book for them? Like maybe if Kanye read this book called "Yes, Your Shit Does Stink," maybe he wouldn't be running for president. Just a thought. Like I said, I do a lot of reading, but mostly because I'm in the bathroom at home, because it's my home, my throne, my castle, if you will. So I spend a lot of time just reading books, not magazines. I can't do magazines anymore. Not in the bathroom, because like I can feel their faces judging me and about the atrocities that I'm doing in there, and I just I don't like it. So like I said, I do a lot of books. I tend to borrow some books from like the library and from my friends. Do you ever smell books? Like, do you ever think that there's some residual stains from when they were in the bathroom with it? These are just kind of things that I think about because I'm stuck by myself, So, did you guys hear about this 4-year-old toy critic? 4 years old, and she's making like, I don't know, $15, $20 million a year judging toys. What kind of critiques and reviews is she giving them? Like, I don't like this car because it wasn't blue enough. This Barbie doll tasted funny. So I don't know. But then again, it's like, wouldn't you love to be in the office of the CEO of like Toys R Us or Mattel or something, and like, just hear about their new toy critic? Hey, yeah, we finally signed her. Okay. How much is that charging us? How much? It's chump change. Only 15 million a year. Say what? How much was that? 15 million. Did you offer her any cake first? That's all I got for you guys. Thanks very much. Thanks for coming out.
Hey, give it up for Steve. All right. All right. All right. We're going to keep this right on rolling down the line. Mr. Franz Kyle. Franz, give it up. Yay. Hi, Lorraine.
Oh, always have to clap for myself, John. You never know what I'm going to get for the rest of this set.
Oh, come on now.
So basically, I want to start off this set by giving you all a friendly PSA that the revolution is coming and all of you are going to have to get more black friends. Which, by looking at this crowd, I'm not lying. When I look around, I definitely see that you all don't have enough black friends. And I'm not just talking about your doorman or the Uber driver that you gave a 5-star rating to. I'm talking about actually someone that you can pick up the phone and call and talk to and have a conversation. I read this survey that said that 80% of white people only have one black friend that they can say they have had intimate conversations with and have shared something with them. And I thought about it and I was just like, wow, y'all take that one black friend thing, one black person way too seriously. I mean, I understand that most of you here grew up in the time that Charlie Brown and Peanuts and Franklin was your, example. But we've progressed a little bit since then. And we need to have more. It's not like Highlander and you only have to have one. I remember 30 years ago when I was going to college for the first time, one of my white female classmates actually came up to me and said, "You're the first black person I've ever really spoken to." She was from Long Island. Which makes me think, what's going on with the people in Iowa? They just have no shot. She said the only black people she had ever seen was The Cosby Show and Cops. Back then, that would have been more of a different, but we all know where Bill Cosby is today.
Yes.
So as part of all this, I offer myself as your black friend. I can start by, providing you nice little things to talk about, making sure that you're up on current events, all the jokes, all the TV shows. There's a movie right now with Omar Epps on Netflix that you really need to check out. I bet you didn't know that. It's trending on Black Twitter. But what I've also noticed, though, is that even though now that the revolution is coming, people are going way to the other side. They want to stop things that we've asked for to happen from actually happening. I've noticed that some writers are no longer able to put out their books because they are white and they have a black character, and people are protesting saying, you don't know enough about the black experience in order to write about that character. We've been asking for years for white people to write black people into their books so that we had someone to actually give a shit about during the plot. And imagine if David Simon had actually listened to all this. There'd be no Wire. There'd be no Idris Elba because he started on The Wire. So then there's no Black Bond. All of this because people want to stop us from being able to talk about other people. So I thought of a new plan that I would be a black avatar or a black face for white writers who want to be able to publish their works that have people of color in them. Just for a small fee, I will go out and actually go to white publishers and tell people, this is my book, and I'll get the signing bonus and I'll pass it along to you. Now, it will end up that I'll be more like Shakespeare and have just a plethora of different writings for everyone to say, wow, that Franz Kayo, he is prolific. But since I realize that most of my white friends are Jewish, what I really am excited about are the critiques. Like, wow, he really got into that Black character, but did you really check out the bar mitzvah scene? He really gets our culture. So I will say that this is all probably revenge now, because we told Charlize Theron that she could not be a trans Black Asian crime fighter in her next movie. And that now they're made it so that only people, even in the voicing of characters, you have to be a minority in order to voice a minority. Many people are out of work. And even though I really wanted to go into that area and said, this is a place that maybe I can get a job, I realized that I'm shit out of luck because I don't sound Black. So how does that work? That I'm a Black man who can't get a job as a Black voice actor. Anyway, that's my, thank you very much.
All right, give it up for Franz. Give it up for Franz, everybody. All right. All right, we got a couple more to go, so keep hanging in there. We got a couple great more comedians. Let's give it up for Stuart Gibble. Stuart, yay, Stuart.
Hey, thanks for coming, people. I know parking is really tough, so, thanks for being here. Anyway, sad news this week. A 30-year-old man in Texas died. He croaked after attending a Corona party. Now, you may be asking, what the hell is a Corona party and how the hell do I not get invited? Simply put, a Corona party is where a bunch of healthy people get together with one infected individual in an attempt to see if the virus is real or not. It's like high school science biology, where the teacher is a drunk gym instructor. And first of all, how do you decide that Corona is going to be the theme for your party? Is there like an aisle at Party City right next to the sexy nurse costumes for Halloween and Elisa from Frozen for COVID decorations? And when you're going to this party, what gift do you bring for the hostess? Herpes? So far, they're only having these parties in the United States. I don't think they do them in other countries, only in America, people. But I wonder if in earlier times, did people have similar parties? Perhaps during the plague, people had bubonic celebrations where they would get together, put out cheese and crackers, open a cask of mead, and invite all their friends and all the rats in the village into their tiny hut. A stranger passing by would think they're just discussing the news of the day, but they would have a higher purpose. They would be doing 14th century science. And once these parties caught on, they would get bigger and bigger and bigger. And people would get very competitive, just like they do today with weddings and bar mitzvahs. Oh, the party last week at the Joneses was awesome. But I hear the invite for the season is at the Smythe House this weekend. They're going all out. It's going to be illuminated. I mean, diseased. They're going to have syphilitic hookers, pregnant nuns, a fountain of pus, and a swamp filled with mosquitoes. the servers are going to be wearing clothes of the departed. It's going to be a party fit for Prince. They're going to party like it's $13.99. And the saddest thing about this man from Texas dying, is that unless he comes back to life by November 3rd, he's not going to be able to vote in the next election. And I think it's sad because he obviously was the type of person that would have looked at all the issues, studied the candidates, watched the debates, and then made an informed decision in the polling booth. But he can't vote. Fortunately, you can. And if you had attending a COVID party on your bucket list, get a better bucket, okay? You're not going to want to listen to my next piece of advice, okay? The way to avoid getting invited to these parties is don't be friends with assholes, okay? Idiots are okay, but the assholes, they want to kill you. They want to destroy you mentally. Do not be friends with assholes. Speaking of COVID parties, the President of the United States, I forget his name, but the President of the United States and his Secretary of Education, Cruella de Vil, want to open schools in 2 weeks. In the middle of a pandemic, they want to open schools. Teachers in Florida are doing lesson plans and writing living wills. I think they should combine the two and teach the children what they really need to learn. Wills and testaments, condolence letters, living trust, all the important stuff. They don't need science. They're never going to use it. In fact, at my age, I really am closer to needing a will than I am to using any of that algebra they tried to teach me. And my question about opening schools now is that, are they going to keep a proper social distance when they're having their active shooter drills? And if there's a real school shooting, and there will be, because only in America, are they going to be able to keep that social distance? Or have to decide whether they want to die by virus or bullets? And is the CDC going to keep track of this information so we know the results of this experiment we're currently conducting on the American public? I'm convinced that the only way conservatives will care about school children dying is if they can be convinced that every death is a late-term abortion. Then maybe they'll start caring. Anyway, in the meantime, wear a mask. It won't stop the bullets, but it will control the virus. Thank you.
All right, give it up for Stuart. Yay, Stuart. All right, now you ready for your headliner? There's another very funny gentleman. He also has a special on Amazon. Actually, he's got a couple on Amazon, but his most current one is not dead yet. Let's see if he can prove that. Let's give it up for Jim Mandrinos. Give it up for Jim.
I am pretty sure I died a long time ago, and I just don't know it yet. Well, thanks audience members that are here. Thank you for coming, and your comics awesome. You guys are amazing. I'm going to talk about a couple of things really quick. The first thing I want to talk about is how bad I am at technology, because I'm like the worst with technology. And John G will nod, because pretty much the other day he had to turn on a computer for me at the office. I'm that bad. I really am that bad. Like, I need an instruction manual to press an on button. And so I'm trying to learn Zoom properly. And in the process of learning it, I realized that I haven't been doing everything the way I should. So the other day, I decide I'm going to go on and I'm going to just figure out how to properly use Zoom. So I set up a little test thing, and I got my iPad, and I log in from one account, and I got my regular thing, and I log in from another account, and I'm trying to automatically send people the information, and I accidentally posted the information for the test on Facebook. And so that's okay. You know, accidents happen. but not more than 5 minutes into it, I got Zoom bombed during the thing. So somebody took the code, came into the room, and it was a lovely young lady whose idea of a Zoom bomb was to come in. Obviously, she thought it was a corporate meeting of some sort, and she flashed her boobies. And I'm just sitting there going, why are we stopping Zoom bombs? Why is this a problem? Because there's almost no situation in life that isn't better with boobs. You know, like you can have the coronavirus and that's bad, but if you got the coronavirus and you've got access to boobs, it's a little less bad. Do you know what I'm saying? It just makes everything better. And here's the amazing thing. I was recording at the time. So I literally have the boobs recorded because, and when you log in, there's two things that really just amazed me. Number one is when you log in, if their meeting is already being recorded, you get a notice that says, this meeting is being recorded. Do you still want to enter? And that mental giant just clicked yes and still showed her boobs, which is awesome. But even better, my Facebook settings are set to private, which means you can't see what I post on Facebook unless you're a friend of mine. So it means it's somebody I knew who got it. So now I'm playing CSI Detective where I'm trying to track down whose boobs are these. You know, which one of my distant friends, which one of the perfect strangers who I admitted as one of my 5,000 friends, because I think we can all admit this, we don't have 5,000 friends. All right? I don't care what Facebook wants to tell you, you have 5,000 friends. No, I've got like 6 friends, and then I have 4,994 people who want some shit from me. That's how this works out. So I got to figure out which one of those it is, and I'm thinking of one of 2 ways to figure this out, to do it. I'm thinking of just pixelating the naughty bits and then just putting out a Facebook post saying, hey, somebody from here Zoom bombed me. Whose tits are these? But I'm thinking that that's going to get me blocked, you know, for about 30 days. So I'm thinking the other way I can do it is to individually email each of the people I know and say, do you know these missing tits? If identified, please report to you. One of those 2 things has to happen. All right, I also want to talk about in my technology quest, I had to replace some hard drives that I lost and whatnot. So I was at Micro Center, and Micro Center has a great policy. You need to wear a mask, and you need to get your hands. You either have to be wearing gloves or you need to get your hands sanitized before they let you in. And if you don't have a mask and you refuse to get your hands sanitized, you can't shop there. That's their rule. So everyone coming through does that, and I've got my cart loaded, and I've got a couple of $100 worth of stuff in there. And this guy comes through, and he gets his hands things, and he got the mask on, and the second he walks in, he went, fuck this shit, and threw the mask on the ground. So now he's walking around, you know, just mask-free. And I realized that that's going to be the new villain in all the movies from now on. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, there was a time it was the Russians, and then Russia wasn't so scary anymore. And the Germans are always good if we said it in the 1940s. But the unmasked, that's going to be the people that we go, that fucking guy. So now I'm pissed that he's walking around, and I've got like hundreds of dollars of equipment in my cart, and this guy's standing online to get something, no mask, and he's got like a $2 item on it. And this is where I figured out that economic sanctions can actually work. Because I went to the manager and I said, he doesn't have his mask on. If you ring up his order, I'm not taking any of this. I'm just going to leave it. And the manager looks at my cart and looks at that one item in his hand and said, sir, you need to leave. And the guy got thrown out because I was buying more shit than him. Because the manager was just going to let him be there. Everyone was just looking the other way. But because I was a dick about it, the manager went, $400, $25. Yeah, you got to go. And now here's my favorite, because this is the world we live in. I get outside Micro Center and I'm on my way to the car, and the guy's looking at me and he goes, "You want to go? You want to go?" It's never anyone my size or larger that says you want to go. Because if you're my size or larger, if you're bigger than me, you're going to hit me. It's always the little guy that's like, "You want to go?" And I'm there like, "Go where? I don't know where Lilliputian is. Just leave me the fuck alone. All right? Just go back to your job at the Lollipop Guild and get the fuck away from me." So it's a hostile environment that we're living in, and the PPE stuff is confusing. Like I'm going through some medical shit, so I had a hospital visit today, and it's when they called me and told me to come, the phrase they used was major blood work. Be prepared to be there for a while. So I'm not normally tremendously germophobic, but the idea of going into a hospital while there's a COVID pandemic is not fun for me. So I loaded up my my knapsack, and I've got tons of disposable gloves. I've got, instead of wearing my cloth face mask, I got disposable face masks, because every time I feel it's dirty, I'm going to change and have a new one. I don't care. That's what I'm doing. Awesome. I got my plan. I walk into the hospital, and I got my gloves on, I got my mask on, and as I'm walking in, the intake person for the hospital went, "I'm sorry, sir, but no outside gloves are permitted inside the hospital." And I'm there like, "But the CDC," they're like, "I'm sorry, that's policy. Take gloves off, sanitize. We'll give you new gloves on your way out to replace the ones you're getting rid of." Not a problem. That's your policy. I got no problem. So I go in the hospital. And here's the whole thing. I had to wear the mask, and it was the longest amount of time I've ever had to wear it in a row. You know what I'm saying? I had to literally keep it on for 6 hours. And here's what I realized after wearing my mask for 6 hours. The people that are complaining that it's uncomfortable or they can't breathe, what they're really complaining about is their breath fucking stinks. That's what they're complaining about. Because after about an hour and a half, I was there like, "Oh dear God, I wish I would have put breath mints in my backpack." Because it just, there's a moment where you just don't want to smell yourself anymore. And that's the only uncomfortability with the mask. So we go through everything, and I go through the first 2 blood intake. Why they can't do all the blood work in one fucking room, I will never know. In the history of my life, it's blood work, right? You're putting it in bottles, you're sending the bottles to the lab. Why can't you do all of them in one fucking room? But no. The blood that they gotta take from one part of your body has gotta be a different level. So I go to the other one, and what I did not know was it's called the sterile intake room. So when I walk in the sterile intake room, I wasn't allowed to bring my backpack in. I had to put it in a locker. They asked me a whole bunch of questions. Then they covered my hair. They put a gown over my clothes, and then they brought me in. And when I get in, they had forgotten to put gloves on me. So I walked in the hospital wearing the gloves I needed to be in this room, but they took them away from me. And then I get in the room and I don't have the gloves. And apparently, do you know those scenes in a movie where the nuclear alarm goes off and you start to see everybody go into action? The second they realized I did not have the gloves, there was a fucking medical SWAT team on my ass, like, "Give me your hand!" They're getting sanitized and they're putting them on me. "Don't move!" And I'm there like, oh, okay. Here's the biggest takeaway. That was the panic. I was the only fucking patient in the room. There was no other people there. Nobody waiting for their appointment. Nobody in the lab at that time. I was literally the only non-hospital professional in the room, and I got the SWAT team treatment. What am I going to do, infect myself? If I'm not infected myself from the 4 hours of wearing the mask, I'm certainly not going to infect myself by accidentally touching myself at this moment. All right, so I'm gonna after that, I left, and I was in Washington Heights, and I have a good friend who lives in Washington Heights. And I walk over, and I do all the stuff I need to do, pharmacy and whatnot. And then I get in my car, I drive over in front of her house because she said she had something for me. And she made me cookies. That's what she had for me. And here's what I realized. I absolutely adore my wife. I really love the relationship I'm in right now. But those were some good fucking cookies, is all I'm saying. And there was a moment where I'm there like, oh, I could. My wife doesn't bake, and these are some really good cookies. So I suggested a polyamorous relationship. You come to my house, the sex stuff is all on my wife. All you gotta do is make cookies. That's all you need to do. And apparently, I'm like that close to working it out. Here's the other thing I noticed, that my proclivities and perversions are changing, because as I'm walking down Washington Heights, I don't know if you've been to Washington Heights, but the women are very scantily clad in Washington Heights. The Dominican women do not like a lot of clothing. And they're walking by and they got the mini skirts on and they got the tube tops on and it's all sexy as hell. And as they're wandering by, I'm going, oh man, I bet she'd be hot without a face mask. My perversions have now changed based on society at this moment. Here's a final thing I'm going to talk about, and then I will wrap this up. The Trump administration just understands the American people so well. I love that about them. So many of us are unemployed. Near 30% full unemployment rate, near 60% underemployed. And they came up with a solution because Ivanka said she's starting a new initiative to try something new. That's the new initiative, the try something new initiative, which is just that fucking close to let 'em eat cake. That's how close it is at this moment. But the try something new initiative, which is great, and that's a great initiative. And well, first of all, I hope her dad has to sign up for that initiative come mid-November. But more importantly, I think I want Ivanka to get back to her roots, and I think I want her to get back to selling cosmetics and fashion like she was doing before she entered the White House. Because you want the person that's one step away from the fucking nuclear codes to be a foreign fucking perfume salesman. That's a really great idea. But I want her to go back to that. And here's what I'm thinking. If you know Erykah Badu and you know Gwyneth Paltrow, they make candles that smell like their vaginas. It's a great candle. I could see them selling like hotcakes. I think the Trump market is missing something. She should market a candle that smells like her fucking asshole. That's what she should do. Because the word Trump is synonymous with asshole. What better way than light up a Trump, smell the asshole you know I am? And I don't even think it's be different, try something new. I think that's invest in your legacy. I'm going to leave you guys with that. Good night, everybody.
Hey, keep it going for Jim. Yeah, Jim. Thank you, Jim. Thank you all. Thank you to all the comedians. Y'all did a great job. Keep it going for yourselves. Come on, keep it going. And thank you, audience members, for sticking around and hanging out with us. We try to do this once a week on generally Thursday nights, but this week it got to be a Friday. So check us out and come on back. Thanks again. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Right.
Just catching up with the comments before I leave. Maybe in the Shire. Guthruple. Ah, there you go.
The
Talk to you
Lollipop
guys.
Guild.
Yeah, we represent them. I will see you guys all on Sunday. Bye, everybody.
See you later. Bye.
Take care of yourself. Be healthy.
You too.
You too, Stuart.